There we go. We had Courtney in the chat for a little bit. So with delicious green tea with ginseng. I got my own snacks over here. 270 will. That is true. 270 will determine all the expenses. Like I was saying before, I'm not an expert at any of this stuff. I just figured it might be kind of fun to do this. Let's see which one I'm going to go with. Going to watch these live. Looks like Donald Trump just won Arkansas. I got my coffee. I got my snacks. We're going to hang out, have fun. I'm watching on ABC, but you can watch it anywhere you want, obviously. We don't just have to talk about the election. We can talk about anything you guys want to chat about as well. Though it is, and this is an interesting thing for October, warm in here. So just give me one sec. Looks like in Pennsylvania, right now, Trump has got, with 8% of the vote in, Trump is at 27%, and Kamala Harris is at 71.2%. Like I said, we're just here hanging out, watching this election, but we can chat about anything you guys want to chat about as well. We can always chat about my first love, Freemasonry, because again, I have an official visit tomorrow night, or tomorrow during the day, actually. It's a daylight lodge. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep doing this stream tonight. Probably going to be a shorter stream because, again, I got to get my stuff all set and ready for tomorrow. Busy next few days. Got an interview coming up on Thursday, which is going to be fun as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a good few days, though. And if you are just joining me for the first time, hit the like button, subscribe button. Let me know what you want to chat about. I said, like, I'm just going to be here watching the election for fun because I used to be a huge fan of politics. I kind of more civilian now, but figured it might be kind of fun to hang out and talk about it. I'm going to see if I can center myself a little bit more, maybe on the screen. I am definitely probably not one of my least, my worst skills is I'm not the best at audio visual stuff, but I want to be better at it. According to this, in West Virginia with 4 electoral votes, Donald Trump looks like he's won that. Or at least it's being called for him. Got some Senate races coming in as well. So Pennsylvania, Trump still trailing, but they only got 18, or Pennsylvania, they only got 8% of the vote in. Trump is at 28%. Harris is at 70.6%. We got a couple people watching. Let me know where you're from. And if you're just hanging out here in the chat, if there's anything you want to chat in particular, my 3 favorite things in the world as we talk about politics, or at least I'm watching politics, though my favorite things are Freemasonry, professional wrestling, and scary movies. Maybe in that order. Who knows? I got a pretty big Masonic event coming up tomorrow. An official visit. Official visits are when you basically, your lodge gets graded by the district deputy grandmaster. So that's going to be a special event. We're having a special luncheon to go along with that. And I'm going to do some other things as well this week. We have our elections at Harmony Lodge on Thursday. And then we've got maybe I'll go see St. Andrew's Lodge on Friday. On Saturday, I've got a special event, or sorry, on the, yes, Sunday. On November 10th, we've got a special event happening at Malden Park in Windsor at the War Memorial, which is going to be a lot of fun and really special. So it's going to be good. So I'm looking forward to a very busy week Masonically. But tonight, why not hang out for a little bit and check out the results of the election as they come in? I'm watching it on ABC News on Disney Plus. So thank you so much, ABC News and Disney Plus. We'll see. I don't think anybody knows. I think everybody's kind of guessing right now. But we'll see. Yeah, I kind of enjoy politics. I was an intern in a few different places over the years politically, and I was pretty active in politics, like at the local level, door knocking. And I used to really love door knocking. That used to be one of my favorite things to do, canvass and knock on doors for different candidates. Conservative Party for years and years and years. I supported them in Canada, especially under Stephen Harper. Though now I'm more switched over to now I support Liberals and Trudeau. I still one day I have to go over though. I have like so many buttons and memorabilia from all my time in politics. It was a special time, and it's really special because I got to spend so much of it in Ottawa. And absolutely loving Ottawa. It's one of my favorite cities, and I miss it like crazy. I got to get back to Ottawa at some point. Right, I moved there. That was the first place I lived after I moved away from home, and I lived there for 2 years straight. Then I went back for summers and political internships. So it was really special. And it's a beautiful city. I think Ottawa might be the most beautiful city in the world. It gets very, very underrated and underappreciated. Right now, they're just putting on some of the district races. Looks like Trump is at 105, Harris at 27 in terms of the electoral college. They need 270 to win, but obviously it's still super early, and there are a lot of votes left to count. But yeah, let's just chat and hang out. And anything you guys want to talk about in the chat, feel free to jump in there. Like I said, this is kind of my channel where I just hang out. I did a live stream a couple days ago for Halloween, a Halloween live stream, which was a blast. We watched Scream, Practical Magic, and then Are You Afraid of the Dark? Still Trump 105, Harris 27. I'm just jumping on my Twitter for some, or my X, to see what some people might be saying. It's interesting because I'm living in Windsor. I mean, every Canadian, well, not every Canadian, most Canadians live very, very close to United States of America. I'm in Windsor, so I'm pretty much as close as you can be. I'm actually south of United States of America. Um, so I can see Detroit from my house, to paraphrase an old infamous statement. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how that affects how America's affected, especially because I love America so much. I love visiting Detroit. I love visiting Chicago. I've been really blessed to get to travel to so many different parts of America, and for Masonic events and for seeing friends, and it's always been really special. Looks like in Virginia, Harris is at 49.2, Trump is at 48.9. How did your Halloween go? We never discussed it. My Halloween was great. So yeah, thank you so much. It was really, really fun. Looks like in Virginia, Harris is at 49. I'm glad you guys are watching it. Yogi Bear, Canyon Lake, Texas. Where is Canyon Lake, Texas located? Never heard of it before. It is. Oh, right now they're showing all these Senate races, although it looks like Trump's still at 105, Harris still at 27. Tim Kaine is at 51, Hung Chow 48.3 in Virginia. Probably got that terribly wrong. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the like button, by the way. Again, we don't just have to talk about the election. I'm just here hanging out. We can talk about anything we kind of want to talk about. It's just I used to love politics, so why not have some fun on the YouTube live stream on this my personal channel. Still the same numbers though. 105 Trump, 27 Harris. Let me know also where you guys are watching. If you guys are watching any news shows, if you are, which one? Uh, any coverage for election night? I used to really love this TV show called The Newsroom, and one of the things I loved about it was their second season finale was set during the Romney Obama elections, so they had the whole thing of like election night coverage, but you actually got to see it from like behind the scenes. Want to talk about some other fun stuff? I've just started watching, or we're re-watching. I can talk. Re-watching Lost. Um, which what a great show that was, and it's been such a long time since I've watched it. Um, so that's cool. If you like the TV show Lost, let me know in the chat. Very, very fun show. Comal County, Texas. I don't know where that is. I'm curious. I'm going to try to look it up. Comal County, Texas. Okay, outside of San Antonio. I was saying, typically when I go to Texas, it's been always like the Dallas Fort Worth area, though I made it to Gonzales, Texas once, and that was really, really fun and a really good time. In the meantime, by all means, jump on. We're here just chatting and hanging out and having a good time, talking about politics, or at least watching the election. So a few people have jumped on. We appreciate that. I don't know how long I'm going to do this for. I've never done a live stream about politics. Palo Duro Canyon. No, I haven't. Where's that located? So Donald Trump is at 105 electoral votes still. Kamala Harris is still at the same number as well. I think it's probably going to take a long time before we get all the answers. Paulo Duro Canyon. I'm going to check that out for sure. Thank you for letting me know. Donald Trump is doing really well in Florida, which is not surprising, I don't think, especially when it comes to the Hispanic Latino vote. Let me know also if you guys follow politics, or if you have followed politics in the past, not necessarily on like a professional level, but just for fun. I used to be heavily involved in politics and always enjoyed it, though now I kind of consider myself a civilian. Still, though, let me know. Kamala Harris is winning Massachusetts. One place I've never visited but really, really want to visit is Massachusetts. Boston, I mean, I visited it in video game form. I don't know if that actually counts for anything. But in Assassin's Creed Part 3, it takes place in old-timey Boston, I guess. And I actually really liked Assassin's Creed Part 3 just because of all the Masonic references and connections. But it was kind of fun to at least virtually visit Boston, as well as New York, and I think Philadelphia, if I recall correctly. It's been a little while since I played that game. I knew that Lyndon B. Johnson was Johnson City. I thought there was in Tennessee as well, though. There's probably more than one Johnson City, in fairness. House Dem 83, Republican 116. Vermont going to Kamala Harris. Obviously, I don't think that's any surprising to anybody who pays attention to politics. Still at Harris 227, Trump 105. Thank you. Much appreciated. I love getting pictures. I love getting pictures of anything, but especially pictures of Masonic stuff is always fun, or really cool locations. I do love to travel. I feel like I'm a little bit too bright. Let me know what you guys are thinking of doing for Thanksgiving. I know that's coming up in the States. We'll just, like I said, we're just going to keep hanging out here for a little bit longer, just for fun, watching the poll results come in. Very slowly come in, still at 27,105. The big swing states, right? I don't know if you have if you're curious about any of them in particular. I'm really curious to see Pennsylvania. I think that is going to be the main swing state that kind of decides what's going to happen in the election, is my suspicion. I'm also curious about Michigan, just because I live so close to Michigan. Like I've been saying, I live pretty much. Michigan is a next door neighbor to Windsor, or at least Detroit is a next door neighbor to Windsor, and Michigan is a next door neighbor to Ontario. So I'm really curious as to see what's going to happen there. Because I visit, the states I visit the most frequently is Detroit, or Michigan, and Illinois are the two most frequently visited states. So if I recall correctly, Illinois is pretty much set almost certainly as going Democrat. I don't think it's a swing state, but Michigan is kind of up in the air. And a lot of TV stations we get actually on antenna, we get from the States. So I have been seeing every one of these ads that everybody else has been seeing. So yeah. Or at least I've been seeing all the ads that the Michiganders see. So they definitely, I can tell you they got inundated with political ads the last few days. I would go insane myself. Oh, and today marks the start of Veterans Week in Canada. I did not know that. This week recognizes the contributions of Canada's armed forces, includes Indigenous Veterans Day on November 8th and Remembrance Day on November 11th. That's neat. I did not know, like I said, that it was Veterans Week. That's really cool. By the way, if you're interested, and you haven't done so yet, Courtney, holy cow. On Instagram, you can actually head to this link and follow my other Instagram account, Masonic Buildings, which focuses on Masonic building facades and all the different facades that all the different Masonic buildings that I've visited, and particularly their facades, just for fun. So check that out and follow us on Instagram at that one if you can. I'm gonna invite some people. How is it in Canada for the holidays? What's the best meals and are the greatest of food dishes? Well, so from a Canadian perspective, probably I should say poutine or poutine, um, which is probably like one of Canada's famous foods. I also really loved growing in Ottawa. They had these things called beaver tails, which was basically like fried pastry with cinnamon and sugar. I think they're called like elephant ears in the States, but beaver tails were really, really good. Gold eye, which is a fish in Manitoba, is really good. See, I love seafood. So when I think of like my favorite Canadian meals, it's going to Nova Scotia. We're actually, speaking of politics, I visited Nova Scotia years ago for the Conservative Party convention when it was the riding president and in Windsor West. And I remember just going to a bar and eating like oyster after oyster after oyster, and it was absolutely delicious. So I'm going to say oysters or any seafood from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Interestingly enough, I just did a post. I think maybe because I did the hashtag. I said, "Are you watching Election Day coverage, 2024 coverage?" 28 votes, 82.1% yes, 17.9% no. So cool. Thank you for all the people answering the questions or answering the poll. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, some people click on the link and watch us as we hang out. Thank you, Courtney. Looks like you sent me some photos. Much, much appreciated. I'll check those out later. Still at the same thing as we were at before. Trump 105, Harris 27, probably. Probably going to be that way for a while, I'm assuming. Kamala Harris is up heavily in a bunch of spots. Senate, Democrats 32, Republicans 42. Harris 27, Trump 105. Once again, just here hanging out, just for fun. Figured I'd try it. I guess I don't do a lot of live streams on this. Figured I'd do a live stream during the election coverage, chat about it. If anybody wants to jump in the chat, say hello. We don't just have to talk about the election, though. I think people might be getting kind of sick of talking about the election. We can talk about my other favorite things: Freemasonry, scary movies, professional wrestling, why I can't drink coffee without spilling on myself, travel. There's actually a conference happening right now in Windsor, the Ontario Motor Coach Association, which I got to see a little bit of it. I kind of snuck in. Don't tell anybody. And it was amazing to see. It was really, really cool. So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun as well. Thank you, Courtney, for sending me all of those YouTube or all of those Instagram photos. I much appreciate it. I will check it out for sure. Just curious what they're saying on Twitter, on the X. I keep seeing stuff about changing of like buttons, which I don't get it. All I keep seeing is like Devil changing the like button on Twitter, which I don't get it. Oh, Michigan. Kamala Harris is at 54.8%. Donald Trump is at 43.2%. Like I was saying, Michigan is so close to me. I kind of really care about that state. I'm really curious as to how it goes. I kind of feel like I lost track a little bit. So, how was Canada for the holidays? What's the best meal? What's the greatest food? Like I was saying, greatest food. I'm going with seafood from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm going to say because I'm from Windsor, I live in Windsor. Windsor pizza is up there as well. We're famous for pizza. In terms of like otherwise, like our holidays, like our Thanksgiving is way before your guys's in the States, but it's the same type of food and it's delicious. Toronto has a crazy good dinner scene right now. So yeah, a lot of really fun stuff. I think Canada in some ways has the best food. House, Michigan, District 7. Oh, well, surprising no one, Donald Trump is projected to win Texas, according to ABC News. And North Dakota and South Dakota. All the Dakotas. And Wyoming, which has 3 electoral votes. I really want to go to Wyoming. I've never been there, but I hear it's got some really neat Masonic temples. I really want to try to visit the West a lot more than I have. Kind of, I've visited the closest I ever came to visiting large swaths of the West, if you don't want to count California, was when I took the California Zephyr from San Francisco to Chicago. It's called the California Zephyr on the Amtrak, and it was absolutely beautiful. I got to see I mean, it was like Nevada, Utah, Colorado, just so beautiful. They really, really were. It was absolutely. I mean, I remember some of those views. They were incredible. Um, so yeah, I remember stopping in Elko, Nevada, which was such a cool spot. Elko has a place in my heart for many reasons, but I loved Elko, Nevada. I'm gonna go try to see what some of the political pundits are saying again, out of curiosity. So Trump 154, Harris 27. Well, let's go crystal ball from Breaking Points because I really like Breaking Points. Apparently, Iowa might be going over to Donald Trump, so we'll see. I got a chance to see the Johnson City Masonic Lodge. Check out the Masonic Lodge sites directly in front of President Lyndon B. Johnson establishment. That is very, very cool. That is awesome to hear. Whenever I hear Johnson City, I think of Wagon Wheel, that song that was done by Old Crow Medicine Show and then covered by Dios Rucker, where they talk about Johnson City, Tennessee. But that is really awesome. I'm going to check out all your pictures, I promise, that you sent me. Thank you so much. Yes, I saw that. I haven't looked at them yet, but I will look at them after, maybe once the stream is done tonight. Like I said, I still have to get ready because it'll be a very busy day tomorrow, very fun day. So, but I'll do it for sure. Senate, Democrats 32, Republicans 42. Harris 27, Trump 154. Florida going for Trump, no surprise. Georgia, Harris 46, Trump 53. Illinois, which I'm also really curious about because, again, it's one of my favorite places. Harris 60, Donald Trump 38. Not surprised. Indiana, Harris 39, Trump 59. Kansas 51-46. Kentucky. Are they doing these? I guess they're doing these alphabetically. So, all right, Michigan should be coming up soon. We're at the M's now, so we're almost there. Michigan, I'm really curious about. Yes, I love coffee. If that's what that emoji is meant to say, so I support that 100%. I got my coffee here. Still waiting for Michigan to pop up because I'm very curious. Very curious, I should say. We can't. There are a lot of MAs apparently. Massachusetts, Harris 65, Trump 31. Michigan. Oh, and they as soon as we get there, they take it off the screen. I did not see how much Michigan has, but it looked like she was winning. Come on, Harris was winning. North Carolina, Harris 46, Trump 51. So I will cheers to that coffee and a heart. And Courtney, if you go back to that link that I put up, and if you want to, you can follow my other YouTube channel or my other Instagram page as well. It'd be much appreciated. Ugh, I gotta wait until it goes back around that ticker to find Michigan again. Well, North Carolina, with 16 electoral votes and 41% of the vote in, Harris 46, Trump 51. I wonder if there's still going to be issues in America or if they're going to have to sort out by the time I go to visit because I'm hoping to visit for Thanksgiving, which would be a lot of fun. Oh, I'm not sure why. That's all right. Don't worry about it. You can go if you search Masonic Buildings on Instagram, it'll pop up, but there's no rush. No worries at all. So now we're at Wyoming, which we have no results for. Now they're going to the Senate. I'm kind of curious. Maybe I can go if I just go to Google. Let's try that. Michigan electoral election results. So 10% reporting. Harris is at 52. Trump is at 45. Jill Stein is at 0.8. So let me just share the screen. Maybe. So there's the results according to Google. It said Harris 52, Trump 45, Stein 8, Kennedy 4.4. And looks like, oops. So I'm from like Canada. So basically here, so I live very close to Detroit. It looks like Detroit right now is the city itself is red is leading the Republicans, but we'll see. I'm guessing that's going to change. Cool. Nice to know how my neighbors are doing. North Carolina. They just had that up there a second ago. Looks like Trump is in the lead there. Let me know what else you guys want to chat about. Let me know if you've used to watch the TV show Lost, because I got super back into that TV show after not watching it for years and years and years. So it's kind of fun to get back into it and watch it again. I'm sure if you give me enough time, I will find something Masonic in Lost. In fact, just out of curiosity, I'm going to type that in. Oh, North Carolina, Harris is at 46, Trump is at 51. Lost TV series, Freemasons. It's taken me to the Lost Symbol, Lodge 49. But interesting, Reddit seems to have an interesting idea on it. So let's see what Reddit is saying. My favorite Masonic film would have to be The Man Who Would Be King, of course. A fun adventure film about two Masonic brothers. My favorite TV show would have to be Lodge 49, which is not directly Masonic. But where is that mention of Lost? I just saw it. Oh, I came here to say Lodge 49, but since that's been covered, I'll say Lost. Themes of light and dark, growing and improving yourself, and faith. So there you go. It's like everything. It's like I was saying before. You can always find something Masonic if you look really hard. In almost anything. At least that's been my experience, especially if you love something. Well, let's try this. Masonic references in television. Don't see anything there. Pennsylvania. Harris 59, Trump 39, with 20% of the vote in. So still a long way to go in Pennsylvania. The two I want to keep an eye on most, so maybe what I'm going to do is maybe what I'll do is I'll try to see if I can keep checking in on Google in Michigan and in Illinois, the two I'm most curious about. Michigan election results. Illinois election results. So for Illinois, Kamala Harris wins Illinois. The AP has called this race 19 electoral votes. Harris with 59, Trump with 39, Robert Kennedy with 1.2. So Kennedy was obviously not a spoiler, nothing there. In terms of Michigan, Harris is leading 52, 45, 8, 4. So 52 for Harris, 45 for Trump, 0.8 for Stein, 0.4 for Kennedy. That's kind of interesting. I'm just going to like all the hashtags to see. So right now, Trump 154, Harris 30, 270 needed to win. Pennsylvania is trending at the moment. All right, let's see. What does Pennsylvania say on X in terms of trending? I've had a chance to visit Pennsylvania a lot, primarily Philadelphia, because they have a beautiful Philadelphia Masonic Temple there, one of the most beautiful Masonic temples, I think, maybe in the, well, it's definitely one of the most beautiful Masonic temples in the world, arguably the most beautiful Masonic temple in the world. It's pretty incredible. It's also just a really cool city, really beautiful city is Philadelphia. And then I've been to Pittsburgh on a few occasions as well, and places around Pittsburgh. Most recently, I was in Pennsylvania in Johnstown. I had an absolute blast. So according to Lex Friedman, 1 hour ago, based on Florida and Georgia numbers, looks like Trump is going to win this. Pennsylvania will decide it. That's what Lex Friedman is saying. I like Lex Friedman, though I think he goes way too easy on the people he interviews. So I'm kind of curious as to where he's getting that from. I like what Lex Friedman says here. Political season has brought out the worst in many people. Extreme division in itself is a bigger danger to our nation than either candidate. Don't believe anyone who's telling you to hate the other side. We're in this together. Tomorrow, go vote. Probably true. Well, I think one side, the red side in the States, is actually pretty dangerous, to be honest. But I'm also not sure that hatred is a good answer. Kamala Harris is projected winner of Delaware. Welcome if you're just joining us or joining me. I'm just hanging out, having fun, watching the election results. I'm watching them on ABC News. Thank you, Disney Plus. And I figured I would jump on and live stream with people. Anything you want to talk about while we're doing this, let me know. Otherwise, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, we're just hanging out. South Carolina, Trump 59, Harris 39. South Dakota, Trump 70, Harris 27. Tennessee, I love Tennessee. Trump 67, Harris 31. Texas, Trump 54, Harris 44. I feel like that should be higher in Texas for Trump, right? Harris 61, Trump 35. Virginia, Trump 49, Harris 47. They haven't called it yet. West Virginia 70-27. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Wyoming, nothing yet. Let's put this over here for 1 second. I'm kind of doing work while I'm watching this because it's just fun. Looks like in Michigan. Oh, and they're actually showing. I want to listen to this because they're showing the more. It's an area where Joe Biden really cleaned up, did better than Hillary Clinton's number. Right now, at least, again, it's hard to tell because we don't have a full 10% of the vote is in Michigan at the moment. Harris 54, Trump 44. Oh, we got some people actually in Detroit. That's really cool to see. I'm trying to see if I recognize where they're at in Detroit at the moment. Blue Wall. I don't recognize where they are, but it looks like they're at a polling location. Juju Chang is in Detroit, Michigan. Great city, one of the best cities in the world. Put the world on wheels. Also had, maybe with the exception of Nashville and Los Angeles, the greatest music town in the world. Michigan at this hour, Harris 53, Trump 44. West Virginia. Yeah, well, Trump took West Virginia. Thank you again, everybody who's joined me on this live stream. We had about 15 people come in and out, which is really appreciated. The more people we get on this live stream, liking, subscribing, the more my personal channel will maybe grow. Willisted Manor. Yes, it is beautiful. I concur completely. I very much love it. It's a great spot. I mean, Windsor has a lot of really beautiful spots that I think maybe don't get the appreciation they deserve in a lot of cases for different reasons. So yeah, no, I agree with you. 100%. Williston Manor is beautiful. Not as beautiful as the Windsor Masonic Temple, my favorite place in the world, but pretty nice for all of that. Oops. I put a poll out a little while ago asking people if they are watching election coverage, and we have got 32 votes. So definitely my highest number of people responding to any of my polls. Normally when I poll about Freemasonry, I maybe get, if I'm lucky, I get 5 or 6, maybe 10 votes. 84 yes, 15 no. The 15 who said no are probably happier in their lives, to be honest. Oh, so 30 for Kamala Harris, 162 for Trump in terms of electoral college or electoral results. I think what you mean is Pelee Island, southernmost island. It's got a Masonic lodge there. It's a really cool spot, a really cool building. Yeah, no, it's awesome. So I've never actually been on the island. I feel really bad about that. I'm always trying to get there, and I never ever do, and I feel guilty about that. But I'm always trying my best. Let's see what we got in terms of our election results. So for with 42% of the vote, Harris is at 57, Trump 41, and they're saying Harris won. Chicago and Glenview, where I spend most of my time, both went blue, supported the Democrats. So there you go. Michigan, 53% for Harris, 44% for Trump. Jill Stein at 8, Kennedy at 0.4, with 12% of the vote reporting. Florida, Trump is winning. Georgia, Trump is 52%. Or so Florida, Trump has won. Georgia, Trump is winning, but hasn't won yet. Michigan, Harris is winning with 12% reporting, but hasn't won yet. I love turkey sandwiches and I love soda. Here's the question though: what do you put on your turkey sandwich? Mustard, mayonnaise, or cranberry? Because for Thanksgiving, I would think you would go with cranberry, in my humble opinion. Democrats 130, Republicans 176 for House. Let's see. Make me hungry though. Thinking about a turkey sandwich sounds very sandwich. What is so? Is that mayo and mustard? I don't know if you've ever heard of sandwich spread before. Your voice, your vote. I'm watching, like I said, ABC. So thank you so much. Oh, Courtney, I saw your comment. LOL. Welcome to the Lone Star State on my personal account. I love being in the Lone Star State. Texas is awesome. Never really heard like a really thick Texas accent though, except on television. Whenever I go there, it's always super easy to understand. But then I'll watch like Teeter on Yellowstone, and it'll be the super thick accent, or like Sawyer or whatever. But thank you for everybody for jumping on. It's been fun. We're just hanging out, watching. I got my coffee, and I'm watching the election on ABC on Disney Plus. Oh, Pennsylvania, 55 to 43. Michigan, 53 to 44. Wisconsin, 46 to 51. So those are the three I'm most interested in. I'm most interested in Michigan because I live right next to it. I was interested in Illinois, and Wisconsin is next to Illinois, so that makes me kind of curious about that one as well. Georgia, 46-52. North Carolina, 47-51. 46 for Kamala, 52 for Trump. North Carolina, 47 for Kamala, 51 for Trump. New York, Kamala Harris. There you go. With 33% of the vote in, they're projecting she has won, as they are with Rhode Island. Pickles, relish, and pimento cheese combination of all. That sounds really good. I am going to have to try that one day. Is that a Texas thing or like an American thing? Because I will say, I feel like it's hard to get pimento cheese here in good old Canada. Need some energy here, so I'm going to go with some Kit Kat. You're making me hungry. All I've got is sugar. All I've got is Kit Kats. American of such, but great. I'm going to bring it to Canada. I can guarantee you that it's coming to Canada. Georgia, Harris 47, Trump 52. Just curious. I'm on Twitter seeing what people are saying about this because I'm genuinely curious. Sometimes Twitter can be kind of fun, or X, in that you get some interesting ideas. Excellent choice. I agree. Well, I mean, you're the idea. It was your idea, but that sandwich sounds awesome. So I'm bringing it to Canada. So Harris at 62, Trump at 162. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. The food is great. And definitely that sandwich bread is a hidden gem. But I think most people know that about how good Texas food is. Oh, excuse me. Because every time I've been there, if nothing else, I've championed Texas food. I'm kind of curious what the majority report is saying about all this. I kind of enjoy their stuff a little bit, even though I think they're kind of wrong about a lot of things. But I'm curious if they're happy or sad because it seems to me a little bit like Trump is doing better than perhaps people thought. So in Pennsylvania, Trump 46, Harris 52. Rotisserie chicken with the meatballs, bread, and sandwich spread my own recipe. It's a wonderful sandwich. I agree. You know what? I'm going to try this. Anybody jumping on this chat or jumping on this live stream, you can thank Courtney in the chat is Masonic. That's your new recipe. Rotisserie chicken with the meatballs, bread, and sandwich spread, my own recipe. It's wonderful sandwich for your Masonic menus at Lodge. And for anybody who's just watching this and hanging out, but next time I get the chance, I'm going to try it out. Harris 52, Trump 46 in Pennsylvania. It's looking like Trump might take this, but we don't, still early. I don't know. I don't know. Talking about Scranton, which always makes me think of The Office, even though I never really liked that show very much. I never even really watched it. Nonetheless, let's we got a second person on, I think. Welcome. Jump in the chat, say hello. We're here just talking about the election, but anything else, just hanging out, having fun. It doesn't have to just be it doesn't have to just be about the election. It can be about anything we want to talk about. My other loves are horror movies, Freemasonry, and professional wrestling, maybe in that order. We've actually done similar things before with that. We actually had a special beer brewed with the Masonic logo on it, or at least a special Masonic label on it. So we've done that before. It was really fun. It was really good times. But yeah, it makes a great gift as well. But no, I agree completely. I'm sure there is actually. So House Democrats 130, Republicans 176. Um, Governor from Missouri, Crystal Quaid versus Mike Kehoe. Yeah, interesting. Pennsylvania, Harris 52, Trump 47. Seems like it's going to be pretty tight. I'm noticing here, I'm seeing some people saying North Carolina was called for Trump. I don't know if it was or not. In Michigan, the one state I'm most curious about, so Pennsylvania 52-47, Michigan 52-45, Wisconsin 51-43. Pennsylvania has 32% of the vote in, Michigan 14% of the vote in, Wisconsin 18% of the vote in. With 13% reporting in Michigan. Or Masonic vitamins, or just vitamins. Our Masonic brothers could perhaps use some more vitamins sometimes, and just a healthier approach to life in general, I think, would be a good thing. But yeah, no, I mean you can brand so many different things. That's the really fun thing about Freemasonry, right? Like you can put the brand, and it's copyrighted, but a lodge, get dispensation, can put the brand on all sorts of different items, from pens to pins. Pins is the most common, to keychains, to beer, to, I mean, you create like beautiful gift packages, and it really helps people. Um, Helps you, it can be a really special thing. So yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I take vitamins every day. I take 2 per day, and I think it's important. So Nebraska, Harris 52, Trump 46. Was North Carolina called already? I'm curious about this. Oh, it looks like North Carolina hasn't been called yet, but Trump is at 51, Harris is at 47, Stein is at 4, Chase Oliver of the Libertarian Party is at 0.4. I did not know there was a Libertarian Party running anywhere. New Mexico, Harris 48, Trump 49. I don't know why I thought New Mexico would go for Democrat. Just ideas that should well, I think the most important thing is that you always kind of follow ideas, right? Like, the worst idea, in my opinion, I've heard people say this before, the worst idea is the one you don't say. Because if you don't say it, like if you have an idea, and if it's not in and of itself a good idea, but you say it, it can encourage other people to think of ideas, right? And it kind of build on maybe a not so great idea, and you build on. So even if it's a bad idea, there may be a kernel of a good idea in it. And if there is a kernel of a good idea in it, you can build on it if you say it. If you don't say it, if you're afraid to say it, it might not go so well. But I would say instead of the word endorsed, I'd say it's about maybe the word you meant was explored, right? I think we need to spend more time exploring ideas like this because it can never hurt to explore them. The question too is this the red mirage or is actually real, right? Like because the mail-in ballots and stuff don't get counted till later, so we'll see. James Webb Space Telescope compels us to ask what's wrong with Vega. I wrote an article about the James Webb Space Telescope, or did an interview about it, I should say, for Medium. I'm gonna mark this and bookmark this because I might come back to it later. Let me see. I'll share the screen for 1 second. It's currently a commercial break on ABC, so. The fifth brightest star in our night sky is young blue and apparently devoid of massive planets. New JWST, James Webb observations deepen the mystery. That's kind of cool. Definitely going to be checking that out. Maybe I'll be sharing that. So follow me on social media where I post all these different things that I post. Alan Quartermain and two others like my post. Wonder how many we're at right now, just out of curiosity. 33 votes for my. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, probably to most people, and 468. So it's like the 149. Wow. Hashtagging election 2024 gets you a lot of traction. Trump 162, Harris 81. Looks like the path to victory is through the blue wall. My suspicion is, I don't know. I don't know. Wisconsin, Harris 51, Trump 46. Milwaukee, Harris 67, Trump 30. So Illinois, 50. I know they're saying Kamala or Kamala Harris won. I'm just curious, with 55% of the vote called or reporting, 56.5 for Harris, 42 for Trump. Harris got 1,937,805 votes to Trump's 1,451,052 votes, with 55% reporting. And my favorite places, Chicago and Glenview, are both blue districts, or both blue. Yeah, I guess blue districts. So that's kind of neat. Ideas are good, right? We need people with ideas. Well, I just had a whole thing about this. Um, Not every armadillo crosses the road, right? Which is um, a quote from current Grand Secretary, former Grand Master Brad Billings. I loved where he talked about that. He said, like, not every armadillo makes it across the road. So not every idea is going to be successful, but you should still try it. You should still voice it and see if it can lead somewhere. According to Alan Quarterman, civilization is only savagery, silver glit. Interesting. 33 votes. Okay. Harris 81, Trump 162. Still at Harris 81, Trump 162. And that's a very Texas quote because we don't have any armadillos here in Ontario, or if we do, I'm not aware of any. Not every armadillo makes it across the road. I mean, Brad Billings is a really smart dude. He's a really cool dude. So yeah, I like him a lot as well. Let's see where we're at right now. I'm guessing that I'm gonna go back to watching ABC, watching the coverage. I'm gonna just check on some stuff online and see where we're at. So Trump right now is at 162. Harris is at 91. I feel like North Carolina hasn't been called yet, but I feel like it probably should be. North Carolina. Trump at 52, Harris at 46.9, 65% reporting, haven't called it yet. Pennsylvania, holy cow. Harris at 50, Trump at 49. It's been beautiful here. Way too warm, I feel like, though, for October or November, even, not even October anymore. I wouldn't mind it if it was a little bit cooler, to be honest with you, because I do prefer the cooler weather, but still, it's been nice. New Hampshire, Harris 52, Trump 46. New Jersey, Harris 52, Trump 45. Let's see. Just at a commercial break right now. My friend growing up had a ferret. They had two ferrets actually. One was white, one was dark. They were pretty cool animals and pretty chill, like not hard to care for by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, all seven battleground states are now closed. Georgia, 47 to 51 for Trump. North Carolina, 52 to 46. Pennsylvania, 50 to 49. They are definitely, they don't mind if my hair gets a little bit more gray, I think, in Pennsylvania. But no, my friend had ferrets and they were really, really cool. So I don't know a lot of sporting goods stores because I don't really have them. But I mean, our mall has some great sporting goods stores. Here in Windsor, Devonshire Mall or Devonshire Mall. Wisconsin, 948. Jeez Louise. Oh, Utah, Donald Trump. Montana for Donald Trump. Colorado, Kamala Harris. Alrighty, so Harris 48. Oh, that's Nevada race and the Latino vote. Well, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. That's for sure. So Illinois, again, I know Harris is winning or won it, but with 60% of the poll, with 60% reporting, it's 55 for Harris, 43 for Trump. I'm just curious about that one, so I like to keep checking it. Curious what the final result will be. 17% reporting from Michigan. I'm just going to hit this once, see if it comes refresh. Nope, so 17%. It's Harris 50, Trump 47, Stein 7, Kennedy 4. What's this route? Just looking, I was saying, see if I can maybe plan my trip to. For Thanksgiving to go see some of my Masonic buddies on Thanksgiving. But it would be expensive. Damian Priest is number one contender. Really? I did not know that. Well, what day is today? Today is Tuesday. Is there a was there resting today? I didn't know Damian Priest was the number one contender. Oh, Pennsylvania. Harris 49, Trump 50.1. So Trump is now leading in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah, okay. Damian Priest becomes world heavyweight champion, number one contender. That's awesome. In the main event of Raw, Seth Rollins versus Sheamus versus Dominic Mysterio versus Damian Priest went down to determine a new number one contender for Gunter's world heavyweight champion. Before the match, Gunter was backstage, praised his man as dominant, and said they'd all be hard tests. He scolded Ludwig Kaiser. In the match, this was fast-paced and chaotic, as you'd expect from each man hit their moments in their match. But the real game changer is Bronson Reed interfering in the match and effectively going for everyone. Seth Rollins was the main target, and Tsunami threw Damian Priest picked up the win after the South of Heaven on Dom. So Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. So now you're saying the takedown recap. All right, cool. 49.1, 49.9. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Damian Priest is, by the way, a super talented wrestler. Maybe, I think in some ways a little bit underrated even now. Like, he's a big dude, but he moves so well. He moves like, I don't know. I like Damian Priest a lot. I think he's very, very talented. Not that I don't think he needs my praise. He's doing pretty amazing. I don't think you can ever love pro wrestling too much. Pro wrestling is a super fun, super cool, super great way to spend time watching. Definitely, there are definitely far worse things that you could love. So I say it's fine. Love professional wrestling. I'm getting pretty tired of waking up and not being in Chicago. I just saw that on Instagram. I agree with that. Cameron, what holidays would you say have the best foods? LOL. Oh, what holidays would I say have the best foods? You know what? I'm gonna go with the classics because you got it right. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. I would say in that order. Um, Halloween maybe has the most fun foods. We got Smarty, we got the candy, which you gotta love, but it's got to be new. It's got to be Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter because those are the big like family ones. Not sure if my computer's acting a little bit slow. If it is, let me know. In case anybody's curious, again, because I love Illinois and Chicago, I had to check. With 63% reporting, Kamala Harris has won Illinois with 54.7 to 43.9. With, as of right now, 2,151,465 votes. And in Michigan, the other one I was super curious about, because it's right next door. Harris is at 50.4. Trump is at 47.8. Stein is 0.7. Kennedy is 0.4. With 17% reporting. So not been called. The other one I was curious about is North Carolina. 68% reporting, 16 votes in play. We have got Trump at 51, Harris at 47. Stein at 4.4, Oliver at point 4. What foods am I a master at making? None. I'm not a very good cook. I used to be a really good cook. Back in the day, I used to make a really good cheesecake. I was really proud of my cheesecake recipe too. I remember that being like a type of food I love making. I was always super happy about. North Carolina, they got it on ABC as well. Harris 46, Trump 52. Um, do you feel it was easier to live in the 80s or the here? Well, I mean, I was born in the 80s. I was born in 1983. I don't remember much of anything about it. I feel like in some ways it was easier. It's like everything, right? In some ways it was easier, in some ways it was harder. I think from a medical perspective, technology was certainly not as good. You couldn't, it was harder to keep in touch with people, and you didn't have the ability to send emails or anything like that. Um, so like I remember back in the day, so my dad's from England, and so when he wanted to call his mom, my grandmother, who still lived in England, he had to dial like what felt like 30 numbers on the phone. And it was crazy expensive. It was like a 99 cents a minute or something insane. Now, if I want to talk to somebody in England, I just jump on my computer and I can send an email or do a video call or a video chat, and it's like right away. Right. And even I remember reading this in a book. Um, but I never even really thought of it till now. It was about a blind person who, or not a blind person, sorry, a deaf person who needed to make a telephone call, and obviously he's deaf and he couldn't speak, so or he needed to communicate with somebody and he couldn't use the phone. And there's this little line in the book saying like, he dreamed of a time when you didn't have to use a phone to get in touch with somebody, and now he would be able to text, he'd be able to even FaceTime and read lips and use sign language and video chat or even just text messaging, right? And then you think about the advances in wheelchair technology and prosthetics and like so, and medicine and how much cheaper medicine is, and how much more of it there is. So, like, in that sense, it's hard to say that it was better to live in the 80s, but it does feel, and again, is this just I'm going to write this down because it's something I've been thinking about a lot. Like, is this just recency bias, right? It feels like right now things are really kind of on a razor's edge in a lot of senses, or there's a lot of tension, or there's a lot of problems. But, there were nuclear weapons in the 80s and we didn't use them. And I don't know. I don't know. Crime has been dropping. So, nostalgic, from a nostalgic perspective, I feel like the 80s was a simpler, more enjoyable, more relaxing time. But from a technological perspective, from a medical perspective, from a um, crime perspective, even, I feel like 2024 is a lot better. So who knows? Definitely, though, the 80s had the best movies in the 1980s by far. I think all of my favorite movies in my top. So let's see, if I were to do my top 10 list of greatest movies of all time, or I'm just going to say my favorite movies of all time. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Adventures in Babysitting, um, Labyrinth, House on Sorority Row, or actually, I'm going to say Sorority Row from 2009, but that was based on House on Sorority Row from like 83. Um, oh God. Prowler, maybe. And then there are some modern ones like Mulholland Drive from 2001. Um, um, Jingle Bell Bride from Hallmark, which was like 2022. So Sorority Row from 2009. Um, but I mean, yeah. So, and it would be fun, because I was born in '83, so I couldn't watch those movies and a lot of those movies in the theaters. Obviously, I didn't. I don't think I saw any of those movies in the theaters. I have seen some of them on theaters since, and like in special film festivals or whatever. But it would be so much fun, I think, to go back in time, but be my current age, so I could experience some of those things as an adult that I couldn't experience. Going to see Nightmare on Elm Street in the in the theaters, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5, and Adventures in Babysitting. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Maybe some of the concerts, because also the '80s had a lot of great music. I always used to love hair metal and hair bands: Poison, Rat, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Cinderella. So it'd be fun to go back and see all of those things as well, and listen to them as an adult. Maybe go to concerts. Poison, one of the great bands of all time, in my also humble opinion. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? Um, I don't know. By the way, Trump 195, Harris 91. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love traveling. I wish I could, like, that's my favorite thing to do. Part of me wants to say Glenview in Chicago, because I've said it a million times, even on these streams. That was my favorite place in the world to be. So to travel there, of course, I'd want to travel there. But I mean, I go there all the time. You know what? I'm gonna actually say Mars. I would love to travel to a different planet and set foot on another planet. I think that'd be pretty incredible. We're still at Trump 195, Harris 91 for the um, electoral college vote. I don't know if you guys heard me talking. I got back into Lost, the TV show. What a great show that was. So good. And I just kind of um, realized, it was premiered 20 years ago. That's crazy. Where is the time going? Um, so in terms of the Senate, interestingly, Democrat 35, Republican 46 in Ohio. Looks like the Republican is winning at the moment. I don't know if it's been called. I'm gonna see if I can fix this. I feel like my light switch is being kind of. I don't know if this is my my computer. I feel like it's kind of. I'm gonna see if that's. Oh, I think that's a lot better. All right, I'm going with that because I think that looks a lot better. I missed the radio. Yeah, I mean everything about it was just so much cooler. And but again, is that just recency bias? Like, there's some pretty amazing things now, even though so many of my favorite things are from the '80s. Even television shows. Freddy's Nightmares from the '80s. Friday the 13th started in the '80s. Are You Afraid of the Dark started the early '90s, but it feels kind of '80s esque. Um, so it's interesting to see all the different great things that existed in the '80s. But then, again, there's so many amazing things in the 2000s and even now in terms of media. And, so it's hard to say. I think sometimes with recency bias, we overlook all the good things in our life now because we're so nostalgic for what was we think was good, 30, 40 years ago. 40 years ago now, I guess. Geez Louise. I'm excited Trump is in the lead. I mean, I hope your disability will get better soon also. And you get a slight raise. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you on that. So yeah, so they're just out in commercial right now. Once again, I'm using ABC News on Disney Plus. Thank you, Disney Plus and ABC News. But you can use whatever you want to use as well. It's fine, right? Or if you just let me know what you are watching. Um, and again, also thank you to everybody who has been checking out my Twitter, my X, I guess you'd call it. It's growing quite a bit. So we're at 195 to 91 for Donald Trump. I got, in terms of impressions, 306, 21, 10, 478, and 512. So definitely I've gotten getting way more impressions. I guess all you have to do is hashtag election day 2024. So there you go. But it's fun to see my socials doing well because I'm not the best at social media either, but I'm trying. Wisconsin, Harris 49-1, Trump 49-2. Score candy bars. Remember those from, I mean, Score is still around. I don't have any with me. I've got, in terms of candy, I've got Arrow, Smarties, and Coffee Crisp. Ooh, and Kit Kat. But I mean, I like Kit Kat. I like Score a lot from back. Score in terms of my favorite candy bars. It changes so much, but I Score. The best thing for a Score candy bar is you crush it up and you put it on your ice cream. That's where it's at. I remember Score flurries from what's it called, from Dairy Queen were so good. But it's been great to see. A lot of my stuff is doing really well lately, including my personal YouTube channel, which I'm doing this live stream from. Thank you for joining us. If you are you want to hit the like button, subscribe button. It's been a lot of fun. Caddyshack, that was the 80s as well, right? So yeah, I mean, again, I got to give it to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, 5, Adventures in Babysitting, Labyrinth, House on Sorority Row, The Prowler, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Part 7. Like, so many great 80s slashers, as well as great 80s hair bands, as well as, yeah, the 80s had a lot of great stuff, but then again, so did the 90s, so did the 2000s, the aughts, right? The double zeros. Um, so, yeah. I think the most interesting time for movies, from a scary movie perspective, because I love scary movies, was the early to mid 90s. So that period before Scream, but after what would be the last, like, trying to think what will be the last like theater released horror movie to fit into to still be like a big like maybe Child's Play Part 2. So that time period between Child's Play Part 2 and Scream, where everything, whether it was released to theaters or straight to video, it had this certain kind of unique feel to it of like, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like direct to video, but in a cool way. Like there's this, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The early 90s horror had a really interesting visual style to it that I don't think has ever been really replicated. It's kind of replicated in I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer a little bit. That was a direct to and Urban Legends. That was both direct to video sequels to Urban Legends I Know You Did Last Summer. I'm curious. I'm going to see if I can figure this out. I'm going to go to the Hellraiser franchise because let's see when it was. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see. Yeah, um like when Scream came out and stuff, you started to see the movies that went back to the theaters have more of that theater aesthetic. I don't know how to describe, but a lot of the straight to video DVDs and straight to video movies kind of kept it like, and some great ones too, like Hellraiser Deader from 2005. I think the most underrated of the Hellraiser series. Um, it was released straight to video, but I think it was a great movie. And so it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, I like that aesthetic. I think it makes me feel it really cool to see. The Goonies, okay. I feel kind of bad. I never watched The Goonies, and I feel like I should. I feel like I would love it. Oh, Trump 201, Harris 91. Trump has picked up 19 states at the moment. But I kind of want to watch The Goonies. It's on my list of movies I should watch. I'm trying to think of the last movie I watched that was like that I really liked the um I can't think of the name of it now. The Von Erich movie, The Iron Claw. I thought that was really good. Because again, if you like professional wrestling, you should like the Von Erichs. And Weird Science was awesome. Yeah, I've never seen Weird Science either. I think welcome. You're just joining us. I'm just hanging out, chatting. We're talking about all sorts of things. I'm talking about the election a little bit because it's fun, but mostly this is just a chance to hang out. So jump on the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, say hello. Let me know if you're watching the election results and what you're thinking. I'm watching them on ABC and Disney Plus. I keep hearing people saying that what we're seeing right now is a red mirage. I don't think that is the case. But I don't know. I don't know. Reminder: the movie called House, Part One and Part Two. I saw House once and I really liked it. I haven't seen it since, so it's on my list. On Twitter, a lot of people are kind of freaking out right now about the potential of what they're seeing. We'll see. My view on it is whoever wins, it's just our job to try our best and keep working. And if you don't like who's elected president, got to get up and got to, go to work anyways. So nothing else you can do for better or worse. Though I'm wondering if Kamala Harris is wishing she'd pick Ben Jesus. I wonder if Harris is wishing she'd pick Shapiro at the moment in Pennsylvania. Trump 201, Harris 91. $270 needed to win. Iowa projected winner Donald Trump. So I guess that poll ended up being not correct. Trump 55, Harris 43. So it looks like these polls are kind of nonsense. At least that last poll was. So Wisconsin, Harris 49.2, Trump 49.1. Do you think that the world is truly infinite? Well, the world isn't infinite. The universe probably. I mean, I don't see any reason to assume it's not. It creates interesting ideas. If it is, it means that you'll have the same infinite number of materials infinitely forming the same patterns over an infinite amount of space and an infinite amount of time. So yeah, my suspicion is the universe is probably infinite, or if it's not infinite, it's just so big it might as well be infinite. Like, let's see. Is the universe infinite? I just put that into Google out of curiosity. The answer as to whether the universe is infinite is not known, but it is likely that it is much larger than the observable universe. So that's true. There's much more than we can see. The size, the universe is expanding. It could be infinite, but it could also be finite. The universe is much larger than we observe because light has only had about 13.8 billion years to travel since the Big Bang. So my suspicion, for whatever it's worth, is that the universe is infinite. But I also think that within what we can observe and will ever be able to observe, there are no aliens. So I don't know if you guys believe in aliens or not watching this, but I think, I mean, from an infinite perspective, there must be somewhere, but I don't think we'll ever see them because I don't think there are any within our observable universe. I think they're just too far away. 50% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Trump 51, Harris 48. I think the purpose of our existence is to get along with all human beings. Sure. I mean, I don't think there's a purpose to our existence, but I think I don't know. Purpose is the right word. I think to me, the reason to exist is to make the world a better. It's like existing is like joining a team, right? Like if you're going to join a football team, the goal should be to do as much as you can to make the team you're on better. So you exercise and you practice and you work within your team and et cetera, in order to ensure the team is successful. And I think if you're going to exist in the world and nobody's making you exist in the world, you could say you never asked to be born, but now you're here, you exist. Your job is to try to make the world a better place and do whatever you can to be a better part of the world. I don't think and so yeah, that sometimes that that might mean you don't get along with people depending on the circumstances, but we'll see. Michigan, Harris 53, Trump 45, 26% of the vote in. I think it's all going to come down to Pennsylvania. I mean, that's what it seems like it's coming down to. So, makes it seem very interesting in terms of what might happen in the coming hours. But I think based on what I'm seeing, it's pretty much all, like I said, all going to come down to Pennsylvania. So North Carolina still hasn't been called yet. 84% of the vote in, 50.7 for Trump, 47.9 for Harris. So I hope that's but I think the purpose is being along with other human beings. I think that's a pretty good purpose. I don't think you can complain about that as a purpose at all. But right now in Virginia, 75% of the vote in, actually, I can't see it. Harris 49, Trump 48. Cameron, is there any personal projects you're interested in working on for the podcast? I mean, sure, there's tons. Right now, I've got interested in the ideas of ancient stone masonry, or I guess lesser known stone masonry, because in Freemasonry we're always so focused on stone masonry for obvious reasons because we evolved from stonemasons. But I think sometimes as a result of that, we focus more on you know Egypt and medieval stonemasonry, and not enough on some really amazing stuff from the past, like Mesoamerican stonemasonry, Stonehenge, Celtic stonemasonry, and then going all the way back to the Paleolithic and the Neolithic. I think is going to be pretty amazing as well. And the very first stonemasons, right? So I think that is definitely up there in terms of things I'm interested in. I'm always interested in getting more NASA scientists on. I'd like to do that very much. So there's a lot. There's always a lot. I'd like to get some more brethren on from jurisdictions where I don't really know a lot about it. I certainly want to get some brethren in from the Grand Lodge of Israel and the Grand Lodge of Russia and the Grand Lodge of Ukraine as well. So that's all on my list. So there's a lot. There's absolutely a lot of stuff I wish I could do. And I haven't done so yet. So Wisconsin, so Pennsylvania, 48 to 50 for Trump. Michigan, 52 to 45 for Harris. Wisconsin, 49-1, 49-3. Ooh, they weren't lying when they said tight race. This has been fun, but I do have to start getting prepared for tomorrow at some point. So maybe I'll do this for another half hour or so. We'll just keep hanging out, and then I gotta go. I mean, I do got my snacks, which should keep me going for a little while, but I also want to try to get some sleep, watch one more episode of Lost, maybe, like I was saying, and get ready for tomorrow. But yes, I agree. Creative pursuits do sound good. I mean, and I think that's the thing about this podcast, right? Or podcast when it comes to Freemasonry. It's like a percentage of it is art, percentage of it is creative pursuits, percentage of it is science. Freemasonry is an art, I would say. Freemasonry is a creative pursuit in the best sense of the world. But it's getting real in terms of who's going to win this thing. I think, to me, I'd give a slight advantage to um, Trump at the moment, but just a slight advantage. The slightest of slight advantages. So those are kind of some of my goals. Let me know what you think. I mean, the other thing though is like, what do you want to see on the podcast, right? Because I'm more interested not so much in what I like, although it's important. It's what do you like? What do you want to see? You're the audience, so let me know what you want to watch. Thank you for. We had about 20 people, I guess, join us so far. I really enjoyed. I mean, yeah, that's something I could even talk about on the podcast more is my trips, right? How I travel, where I travel, all that stuff is kind of really a lot of fun. Just posting something on my socials. Behind the scene trips would be cool for podcasts. Yeah, no, I agree with that actually. I think um like I think behind the scenes would be really cool. Even behind the scenes Masonically. Like people don't realize how much work is involved in being a Mason. And what happens behind the scenes to set up a lodge and tear down a lodge and all that stuff. So Canvas, 6 electoral votes, projected winner Donald Trump. Nebraska, Donald Trump, 3 electoral votes, 48% of the vote in. Colorado, Harris 55, Trump 42. I love Colorado, been there for Freemasonry. Connecticut, never been there for Freemasonry, 53 to 44 for Harris. Delaware, been there for Freemasonry actually, 56 to 42, very briefly, very quickly. District of Columbia, Harris 90, Trump 6. I think Harris might have won that one. Florida, Donald Trump 56, Harris 42, been there for Freemasonry. Georgia, been there for comedy, never for Freemasonry. Trump 51, Harris 48, not called yet. Illinois, been there a zillion times for Freemasonry and wrestling and horror movies. 55 for Harris, she won it. Indiana, Trump 58, Harris 39, been there a couple times. This is kind of fun, all these states. Iowa, Trump 56, Harris 42. Passed through there on a train. Kansas, never been there. No, have I been there? I don't recall. But I feel like I have. I just can't think of when or where. I'm thinking of Kentucky. Because I went to Kentucky a whole heck of a lot for Freemasonry and for other things. Tim Kaine is back in the Senate in Virginia, 76% of the vote in. Ted Cruz won in Texas. Colin Allred and so Cruz won pretty safely, I feel like. Seems like it's all coming down to Michigan's tightening up a little bit. Again, I live right next to Michigan. 51-46 for Harris. Minnesota, Trump 61, Harris 36. So I think Minnesota's going to go to Trump. Mississippi, 62-36 for Trump. I want to go to Mississippi at some point. I wish I had gone there more. Trump 56, Harris 41. Missouri. Montana, Trump 61, Harris 35. Nebraska, Trump 52, Harris 46. Nebraska 1, 48, Harris 49. Okay. Nebraska 2, 44, 54 for Harris. Looks like they're calling something. What's happening? I'm curious.
The presidential candidate himself, challenged by 3-term Democratic congressman and former, like Lindsay said, former NFL lineup.
Yeah, that'd be great. A Masonic Albert Pike coin. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, coins in general are really cool when it comes to Freemasonry. Oh, so I think they're talking about Ted Cruz. Remember Ted Cruz winning, so good for Ted Cruz, I guess. Congratulations. There you go. We're gonna have more Smarties. I think you mentioned that before, doing something more monthly for patrons. I mean, certainly, I started to get you your model, which you'll be getting soon, I promise, or before Christmas, I should say. Looks like we got some people joining us. Jump in the chat, say hello. I'm just killing time, hanging out, talking about the election because I used to love politics, so it's kind of fun to watch it from somewhat afar. I'm here in Canada, but as people know, Canada and the States are not that far away. Certainly, it's not for me. I mean, if I look out my window, I can see Michigan, to copy an infamous phrase from back in the day. So yeah, figured it might be kind of fun to chat for a bit and just hang out. Um, Pennsylvania, Trump 50, Harris 48, with 66% of the vote in. Harris 50, Trump 48 in Virginia, with 77% of the vote in. West Virginia, oh, missed that. Wisconsin, Trump 49, Harris 48. Whew. Trump is at 210. Harris is at 91 at the moment, in case anybody's curious. Wisconsin, Trump is up by a hair. I mean, books would be a fun, but the problem is books are so expensive that they're hard to do as like swag, right? I think that's the challenge with giving out monthly books, even though there's a lot of amazing books out there for Freemasonry. So, but I enjoy books as well. Let's see where we're at. Oh, as a topic from, oh, okay, I see my favorite books. Yeah, I could do that. A lot of stuff by, yeah, that'd be a good podcast episode to do. I think I agree with that 100%. I could do one on, what was my favorite Masonic book? The Lost Symbol. That's a more fiction book, but it's still really fun. A lot of Bizcock stuff. Great to see again, 484, 518 in terms of my my results on Twitter or on X. Should use the USA election hashtag more. Pennsylvania, along with Wisconsin and Michigan, are trending for, I think, obvious reasons. Apparently, like the Amish was a big vote in Pennsylvania, which I guess was one dude went around and like got all the Amish to vote. I didn't know the Amish would be interested in voting, but apparently it's like record numbers is what X is saying. I know it's not a reliable source of news, by the way. But I think we can keep going for another half hour. This has been really fun. I've been enjoying this a lot. Like I said, as somebody who used to really love politics, Oh, this is interesting. Democrat Sarah McBride of Delaware to become first openly transgender person to serve in Congress. Well, congratulations, Democrat Sarah McBride. Good for her. Um, I'm gonna see if I can share this screen for 1 second, maybe. Georgia, Trump 50, Harris 48%. Dover, Delaware State Senator Sarah McBride has been elected to the U.S. House and will become the first openly transgender person to serve in Congress. McBride easily defeated Republican John Whalen III on Tuesday in a race for Delaware's lone. Yeah, good for Senator Sarah McBride. I feel like I can share that on the X. Pennsylvania, Trump 50.7, Harris 48.3. Michigan 51, Harris, Trump 43, Wisconsin 48-49. Global warming, very interesting topic. It is. I just don't know enough about it to say, so I wouldn't really want to say. I really wouldn't want to say much about it because I don't know a lot about it, and I would have to do a lot of research. I feel like to know the nuances of it. I try my best. I don't always succeed, but I try my best. If I'm talking about something, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about or I've done sufficient amounts of research on it. California, 54 electoral votes. Uh, Kamala Harris, projected winner. Not surprising. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked by that. Idaho, Donald Trump. Washington State, polls are closed. Too early to call. Oregon, polls just closed. Well, we're going to see Masonic dreams and Masonic aspirations. That'd be a great topic for a podcast as well. I can tell you my Masonic dream is for Freemasonry to be the most relevant force in the civil life of any community or town. Or I guess that's my Masonic aspiration. I don't have any Masonic aspirations. The ability to earn a living through my services to the craft might be an aspiration, or the ability for other people to earn a living through their dedication to the craft. Thank you. I agree. I think relevance is the key for this stuff. So
I say that is absolutely the message that we're hearing tonight from the Kamala Harris campaign. But I am also talking to Democrats, not precisely on the Kamala Harris campaign, but very much invested in what's happening here, who are feeling this is
Kentucky, 8 electoral votes. Donald Trump, 64. Harris, 33. Maryland, Harris, 59. Trump, 38. 10 electoral votes. Michigan, Harris, 51. Trump, 47. You keep seeing Red Mirage? I don't think so. Trump, 214. Harris, 145. Life lessons and advice, Masonic motivation. Oh my gosh.
Democrats very vested in this campaign. Although, to be sure, as you've heard from Mary, the campaign, the Harris campaign, still very much.
Life advice, life lessons and advice. I mean, just keep going. Look, I think if you genuinely care about something, then it's going to be incredibly hard and you're going to work incredibly hard at it, and it's going to be incredibly challenging, but it will be worth it if you keep going, right? And just keep fighting. Um, and don't let the good times kind of cloud your judgment and make you think it's always going to be good times. Don't let the bad times depress you too much. Just keep fighting. That's all you can do. Um, yeah, I think just keep fighting. North Carolina, Harris 47, Trump 50, with 86% of the vote in. No, thank you. Thank you for joining me. It's been fun. It's like hanging out with a friend, and it's just hanging out, chatting about the again. I used to love politics. I'm less interested in it now than I used to be. I feel like a civilian, but I still like it. I still find it interesting, and so it's kind of fun to talk about these things and just watch this together. And I did this with the horror movies, for Halloween. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is next thing I'm going to do, I think, is on this channel, my personal channel, is a Hallmark movie marathon for Christmas in the next couple, in December. Tennessee, been there for Freemasonry and wrestling. Trump 64, Harris 33. Texas, been there for Freemasonry a lot and loved it every time. Trump 56, Harris 42. Utah, never been there. No results yet, but I want to go to there. Passed through it on a train. California Zephyr. Vermont, never been there, but it's on the list. Virginia, Harris 50, Trump 48. West Virginia, Trump 69, Harris 28. Trump 50, Harris 42 in Wisconsin. Never been there, been close to there, been close to the border. Wyoming, Trump 76, Harris 21. Lake, Ruben Gallego is defeating Kerry Lake, though, which I'm happy about. Interesting. Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff. So I've been having fun. I definitely keep busy. It gets tiresome sometimes, but I try my best. I think I try to keep busy, and it's fun, and I enjoy talking to people. And that's the thing I like about this stream and this podcasting the most is I get to chat with people. So that's something I really have been enjoying a lot. I mean, yeah, and also I hope that you are keeping busy as well. I mean, Freemasonry will keep you busy if you get involved in Freemasonry, you can kind of be as busy as you want to be, right? So,
What you do see is that in the rural counties, the rural voters showed up and showed out. I wonder, Steve, if part of that is the encouragement to vote early, the combination of early voting and day of voting, if that did just help them kind of move up the Republican Party in Georgia. When you look at sort of county by county, I think your point is well made that they were really able to increase the margins. And I was saying to Chris Pine earlier, Donald Trump was outdoing himself in many cases, even what he did in 2020.
thank you also ABC News for you're the one I've been watching this whole time and it's been great. I really appreciate the coverage. Oh, Georgia, Trump 51, Harris 48. Haven't called it yet, but they have got 88% of the vote in. I can't imagine Trump losing it based on that, but we'll see. Kind of curious what the majority report is saying. Kind of like listening to them. Just curious. I'm going to hit this in a second. Yeah, there is a few. I will send some to you. Maybe on the next live stream. I can copy send it to you. There's one from California that's really, really good. So I'll see if I can do that. The out of California, there's a great one. Masonic Art Gallery. Well, I mean, I think not so much a Masonic Art Gallery, but a Masonic Museum exhibit because we've done that in Windsor before. We've had Masonic exhibits um, about like Masonic Museum exhibits, which has been really, really cool. We actually have had a few of these in the past. Masonic Masonic museum exhibits, and they're really cool. But no, I agree 100%. Actually, I just put down just for fun. Let me know if you're watching this, you want to answer the question. I just posted on my one of my channels where I talk about Glenview, Illinois. Like I was saying, I love. Let's see if I can actually find it now. Should I travel to Glenview, Chicago for Thanksgiving or Christmas or both? Let me know in the what you think I should do. But I will let you know about the yearly magazine for Masonic purposes. But thank you everybody for checking us out and watching. It's been fun. It's always good times. Oh, in case you're curious, Senate 39, Republicans 49, +2 net gain. Think we'll see what happens, but I agree. Masonic Art Gallery, I support that 100%. In terms of the election, let's go back to Disney and ABC. Georgia, 16 electoral votes. Which I, like I said, I've been there before. Looks like Trump is in the lead, but they haven't called it yet, which I'm surprised they haven't called it yet. Illinois, 54. I'm actually going to look if I can figure this out state by state kind of thing. Glenview, Illinois, election results. Looks like Adam Schiff won there. All right, so let's go Ballotpedia. So I guess they're Cook County, Illinois. Here we go. 2024 presidential election. Maine 2, Trump 54, Harris 43. Trying to find the election results. Here it is. Pennsylvania, Trump is ahead. Let me see if I can find the answer to that question, actually. I can't think of the name of it now. It's driving me crazy. California Masonic Research magazine. Southern California Research Lodge. This is it. Fraternal Review. There we go. I knew I've had them on the podcast actually before. Um, Here, let me share the link. That would be it there. Pennsylvania. For those between 18 and 29, Harris 53, Trump 43. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for jumping on. We're just going to hang out for a little bit longer, maybe till midnight. Or, well, maybe to actually maybe till 11:30. We'll see, because I still got to get ready for tomorrow. Still watching on ABC News. Well, let's give it another few minutes, see what happens. But I think we might be calling this one pretty soon.
Get out of here. Oh my God. Blowout.
Harris 50.2, Trump 48.1 in Michigan.
Yeah, 47, 46. That's what they had it at. Actually, if anything, they have to count the chase. My God.
Again, that's election day, blah blah
yeah.
blah. But yeah,
That's. I mean, look. I guess you could say this. You can't blame Jill Stein for that one because they ended up just voting for Trump. This time.
no,
So
I mean they have only themselves to blame. Only themselves to blame. For all of that.
wow. So apparently, the New York Times right now is only projecting a 2-point win for Kamala Harris. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's some stuff I remember hearing from the Trump campaign in their craziest days. Minnesota is on 24 for all of us. Just want to see that.
I do wonder. I know we talked about it before, but I do really wonder what the autopsy is going to be for Democrats.
I mean, it's such a brutal situation.
Because it's in their view, like
to the party leader, so you're gonna know better than I. What is Nancy Pelosi?
I mean, in their view, Trump is this sort of like weakly, evil, awful threat who ran a terrible campaign and etc. Just awful. It's awful.
Anybody still watching? And it looks like we're not doing the live stream anymore. It has been a lot of fun, but we'll give it 5 minutes, see if anybody jumps on. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. It's been a blast.
24 seats in play. One notable win. Republican Senator Ted Cruz in Texas is projected to hold his seat after a tight race with Democratic Representative Colin Allred. Let's go straight to our Whit Johnson. He is in Mar-a-Lago tonight at Trump headquarters. Whit, let's talk about Team Trump and all the supporters. How are they feeling tonight?
Hey, Kira, well, the energy is really starting to come alive here at Trump headquarters. You can hear the music behind me here, and they are celebrating as these states are being projected. And North Carolina has just popped up here on the screens here. Now, I should note that the Trump campaign has been putting some of these projections out here before we have, but I can tell you everybody's very excited and energized. One thing that we've also learned is that Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to travel from Louisiana to here to Mar-a-Lago to be with former President Trump tonight. He told the crowd he was actually at an event in Louisiana, and he told them that he was going to Mar-a-Lago, and that's specific. Forgive me, a lot going on here, but Speaker Johnson among those very confident in the way things are playing out for Donald Trump tonight. Kira.
And possibly Elon Musk showing up there as well. Whit Johnson, we'll keep checking in with you there in Mar-a-Lago. Now to the Harris headquarters at Howard University. Eva Pilgrim is there. Eva, let's talk about the atmosphere there.
Well, Kira, I can tell you there has been a real vibe shift here in the last 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so. We were actually starting to see some people that are leaving. There have been streams of people going. The crowd has thinned out just a little bit. You know, we've spoken with campaign sources who they tell us that they think that they can still hold the blue wall. But when we talk to people within the Democratic Party,
if you're just jumping on, we're just hanging out watching the election results just for fun. I used to love politics back in the day. I'm really a spectator now, but it's still fun. It looks like I'm watching on ABC News on Disney Plus. So thanks ABC, thanks Disney Plus.
One of the things the campaign, the Harris campaign, keeps sending us is information about the long lines at college campuses. And one source said to me, we can't count on those votes for Harris.
Kira, all right, Eva Pilgrim, thank you so much. I'm Kira Phillips. So glad that you are with us tonight. I hope you'll stay with ABC News. The team is bringing you election results all throughout the night, led by our David Weir. Don't go far. Our race to the White House coverage continues.
Your vote, your voice. So done this for 3 hours, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying watching it. Not personally too happy with the result, but that's okay because everybody gets the right to vote how they want, and our job is just to make it work. All eyes right now are on Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Thinking our friends I don't know if you saw the Fraternal review, by the way. That's your yearly Masonic magazine. So yeah. We are at 165 to 214. Or sorry, 172 for Harris, 214 for Trump, 270 needed to win. Oh, excuse me, about to Cough there. 172 Harris, 214 in Arizona. Harris 49, Trump 49 with 51% of the vote in. That's pretty much as close as you can get. Harris 49, Trump 49.6 in Arizona, 49.6 to 49.5. I feel like that's got to be a tie. If you're just jumping on, you want to say hello for a few minutes, jump in the chat. We're just hanging out, watching the election results just for fun because, I'm trying to use this YouTube channel to just live stream things I enjoy. I've always enjoyed politics, primarily as like a spectator sport. I used to be pretty active in it, but now I just kind of watch it for fun. So figured why not go on live and see if anybody wants to join me. We also talk about Freemasonry, my favorite thing in the world, scary movies, just things I like, just getting a chance to hang out. Arkansas, Trump to Harris. There you go. Happy campaign 2024 indeed. Pennsylvania, Trump 51, Harris 47. I think Trump is going to take Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes. 77% of the vote in. Whew. Georgia, Trump 50, Harris 48. I'm not sure how well this is going to go for my team. Yeah, I don't think this is a red mirage either, so. But still, it's been a lot of fun hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. It's interesting is most of my views on this channel have been on recent videos or on my main channel. So I'm going to start trying to encourage people to check out my back catalog because I feel like that's not being checked out as much as I'd like it to be. So if you get a chance, go back and check out some of my older videos on either of my YouTube channels. That would be much appreciated. But with that, I think once they come back and I get a final result, I'm just going to kind of leave it there and log off. It's been a great 3 hours. See what's happening with the Young Turks. I'm kind of curious how they're doing. Just waiting for them to come back from commercial so I can see the results or see what they're at right now. But then I think we're going to call this one. It is. Oh, they're just coming back, it looks like. Your voice, your vote, they're saying. Harris 172, Trump 214. Harris projected to win Connecticut. Amy Klobuchar projected to win Minnesota. Bernie projected to win Ohio. I don't care about these. I just want to see where they're at in Pennsylvania. South Carolina, Trump 58 to 40. South Dakota, Trump to Harris. Tennessee, Trump. Oh, something's happening now. Maybe this is, they're calling something. North Carolina projected for Donald Trump with 88% of the vote in. I'm kicking back and adjusting the fan, 48 degrees here, and too hot for me, especially in November. I would not want that at all. So with that, Trump is at 235 and Harris is at 226. So she needs, I guess, the blue wall, Michigan, which I think is holding out pretty strong for her at the moment. But I think like it all rests on Pennsylvania, it seems like. And curious where Michigan's at the moment. I'm going to kind of check this out. Michigan election results. Oh, Donald Trump leads in Michigan. I did not know. Donald Trump 51, Kamala Harris 46. Whew. Pennsylvania. I just saw that a second ago. Now it's going. Pennsylvania 51-47 for Trump. Philadelphia has 69% of the vote in. Harris is way ahead in there, way ahead in Philadelphia. Maybe that'll change that'll bump Harris up in the overall state. We'll see. So Pennsylvania, 51 to 47. I don't know. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I'm going to log off now. Guess what I'll say is whatever happens tomorrow, if your candidate wins, then I guess congratulations. If your candidate wins, congratulations. And if your candidate doesn't win, that doesn't mean all is lost. Just keep working for what you believe in, and you try again in 4 years. And you also try again in the next few years as well. Next few months, next few races, whatever it is, you don't lose hope and you don't get cranky. You just kind of try again. I think that's all any of us can do anytime. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to my official visit tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for everybody who joined. And I will enjoy the pictures for sure.